Hi guys, welcome back to Commpod, aka Communication Podcast. Before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Adhitya, and in this episode, we're going to talk about something really interesting, and this topic is quite popular these days. Who doesn't know about an issue between Gaga Muhammad and Laura Anna, right? But disclaimer, we're not going to talk about Gaga and Laura in specific, but we're going to talk about a toxic relationship since Gaga and Laura have been in a toxic relationship too. But I'm not gonna be alone in this episode because I'm going to invite some of my friends to answer and give their opinion about toxic relationship. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So, the first question is, have you ever been in a toxic relationship?
Well, yes, I am. I experienced it in junior high school, but yeah, before I start, let me introduce myself. You guys can call me Tete, and actually, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but that's the truth. Nothing we can do about our past, right? So yeah, that's for me. But anyways, I guess Auntie experienced it too. Am I wrong, Auntie?
Yes, I've been in a toxic relationship.
No, I never been in a toxic relationship.
No, I haven't been in a toxic relationship before.
No, I'm not.
I've never been trapped in a toxic relationship before.
No, I haven't.
Very interesting question to answer, and I don't know if I should be sad or happy because I can share my story here. By the way, introduce, my name is Laily Permata Sani. My friends call me Sani.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
Actually, I have never been in relationship before.
Ooh, this is very interesting. So some of them have been in a toxic relationship and some of them are never been in a toxic relationship. Like, I'm really curious, for those who have been in a toxic relationship, how is it like to be in a toxic relationship? Can you guys describe it?
Okay, maybe this is a version from my point of view that has experienced toxic relationship. If you want to say how it feels, on average it is clear that everyone will answer uncomfortable. Because based on my experience when in a toxic relationship, every conversation or debate will become a fight. Differences of opinion are not, it is considered a natural thing, and at worst it can lead to physical violence, not just a mental. Many factors that cause it to happen because at that time the relationship that I was living began to fall apart and there were many external factors as well. Then what I do when I'm in a relationship like that, it's simple. There are two choices. You want to fix the relationship or you want to leave it. But on the condition fix it, you must fix it together because relationship is not about me and you but us. It is really necessary to have a very strong mental and physical body to deal with a toxic relationship. The parable is like dirty water which can be purified again, but it is very difficult and must be little by little. For friends who are listening, when you are a victim of a toxic relationship, I hope you all can deal with it wisely. You have to think about your health and you have to be able to open your mind about what makes a relationship like this. When you are sure about your decision, then do it because every choice there must be a sacrifice.
Okay. I agree with Daffa, but the difference is I can feel after breaking up. I just realized how manipulative it is. It's not happens in one time, but like in every conflict. I'm always on the wrong side at the time, okay? My feelings at the time. I always make apologize to him and say like, okay honey, this is my fault, I'm sorry. And it's happened in every problem that we have. And at this day, when I think about my disgusting past, I was like, oh my god, Stupid me. That's not all my fault. He's cheating on me, not because I'm not pretty, I'm childish, or like whatever he said of me. Yeah, before I'm getting burned. That's from me. How about you, Sunny?
Thanks for the question, moderator. Sorry if my story is not interesting, but this is a true story when I was in high school. In short, I have a boyfriend who is in the same class as me. On the one hand, he really loves me, but on the other hand, he is slowly destroying me. How not? He always forbid me to go with my middle school friends and always suspect me, curse me, and even worse, he is double behind me with one of my classmates in the same class. Even worse, he went alone with one of my friends, Rose. My boyfriend always has a lot of excuses when I ask him what their relationship is. It is true what people say. Sometimes we love someone so much that we don't realize that our mentality is being destroyed. To be honest, about my toxic relationship story, I have to flashback to the past, a little sad and a lot upset too. Why I used to be that innocent and lack experience in dealing with relationship. Even though my mother forbade me to have a love relationship, but because I was a bit naughty, so I didn't hear my mother's words. Even more stupid, I always obeyed my boyfriend. At the time, he asked me to buy a guitar because he is a guitarist and maybe he cannot afford to buy a guitar. And with my stupidity, I bought him a guitar at a hefty price for school children. A little sorry, but never mind. His sustenance. Maybe just like Laura, I also bought my boyfriend a Mobile Legends game skin. Love can blind everything, and it is undeniable that some of the event that Laura experienced have experienced too.
Okay, so my experience with toxic relationship is probably when I was still in junior high school. At that time, I had a boyfriend who is very, very, very odd and very possessive. So he made like all of these rules in this relationship that I must follow in order to make him happy. Back then I was so blinded by the love. Like I didn't even see if it's a good thing for me or is it just a waste of my time. So like for example, he had this one rule where I cannot play Mobile Legend. Do you guys know that game? Like basically he said that if I do play Mobile Legend, it make me look like the boys. Oh my god, like I started thinking about it now and it was very, 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 very silly, you know? Why would you say that to me? Like, why would you even make that rule? Yeah, so back then, all I ever wanted was to make him happy. So yeah, I uninstalled that game. And I was like, I will uninstall that game for you. Everything just to make you happy. I was so stupid, yeah, back then. My god, ew. Alright, so, I remember this thing where he doesn't like it when I perform in front of everyone. Like, side note, I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. So, like,
he want me to let go of my dream. Like, what kind of person is that? So yeah, basically, toxic relationship is useless. I would not recommend. 0 out of 10.
Yes, it is very tiring, especially if in a relationship we will feel afraid, distrustful, and never feel safe. Surely, in a relationship like that, it's very tiring.
I think it must be tiring, right, to be in a toxic relationship. So I'm really sorry if that is happening to you guys, but now I'm curious about a perspective from someone who's never been in a toxic relationship. Like, what do you guys think about toxic relationship?
I've never been trapped in a toxic relationship before, so I don't know how it feels like. But from what I've heard is that a toxic relationship is really bad. There will be a sign like lack of trust and controlling behavior. You can do whatever you want, you can't be free, you will always be under control, and etc. So after knowing that, I don't think I can survive if I were in a toxic relationship, because I like freedom. I always set a clear boundaries in any of my relationship so that I can still have my own space, and so does my partner.
Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, I never been in a toxic relationship. But here, I explain my opinion based on the experience of my friend and based on a film that I have watched that writes the story of a toxic relationship. In my opinion, a toxic relationship occurs because one of the partner or both partner who are in relationship no longer trust each other. Maybe their distrust could be because there is one problem that make them distrust each other and make their relationship toxic. For example, like infidelity or cheating their partner. Usually, a toxic relationship occurs because one of them has an affair but they still want to maintain the relationship even though there is no trust in the relationship, which make this relationship toxic. And it could also be that their toxic relationship occurs because one of their partners is rude, like one of the partner often commit act of violence to their partner and cannot control their emotion when there is a problem in their relationship. This is included in a toxic relationship, in my opinion, okay? And then often speaking dirty to their partner is also considered a toxic relationship, in my opinion. Maybe that's my opinion about toxic relationship based on my experience from my friend and based on film about toxic that I have watched. And thank you.
In my opinion, a toxic relationship is a bad relationship. Why? Because there is one part who forces the partner to fulfill their wishes. While in a good relationship, it's a balance between one part to another. If there is no balance between one and the other, it cannot be called a good relationship.
I think in a toxic relationship, we might consistently feel drained or unhappy after spending time with our partner. Maybe the relationship no longer feels at all enjoyable, though you still love your partner. For some reason, you always seem to rub each other the wrong way or can't seem to stop arguing over minor issues. You might even dread the thought of seeing them instead of looking forward to it as you did in the past. When you are in a toxic relationship, you might not always find it easy to notice the red flags popping up. All the same, you could notice some of these signs in yourself, your partner, or the relationship itself, like lack of support, toxic communication, envy or jealousy, controlling behaviors, dishonesty, constant stress, lost relationship, even lack of self-care.
I've never been in one, but I have a few friends that are currently or formerly in a toxic relationship. But as a person who was never interested in the term, let me cite the definition of toxic relationship by Dr. Lillian Glass, a communication and psychology expert. She defined toxic relationship as any relationship between people who don't support each other, where there is a conflict and one seeks to undermine the other, where there is a competition, where there is a disrespect and a lack of cohesiveness. Based on that argument and experience of my friends, toxic relationship tends to drain yourself by trying to please your partner. Any relationship with over-possessive, corrupt, and repressive behavior, for me, is a toxic relationship and you should get away from it.
Because I've never experienced a toxic relationship myself, on this occasion, I want to tell you a little bit about my two friends who were in a relationship and ended up in a toxic relationship. So, the guy and the girl are two of my friends. At first, their relationship was fine, but after a few months, they started not wanting to play with me and my other friends, who were also their friends. At first, it was just the guy. Not long after, the girl was also not wanting to play with us. Then, the girl told me that she was forbidden by her boyfriend to play with us. We already have a bad feeling about this. How come it was forbidden to do that? Even though at first the relationship was good, until we finally found out that the girl was not only forbidden to play with us, but also many of her friends. They were dating back when we were in high school. They happened to be in the same class. So, if the girl got a higher score than the guy get angry. This is definitely a toxic relationship. So, what do I think about toxic relationship? Yes, that's definitely something that should be avoided. Who wants to have a relationship with someone who not only doesn't love their partner, but also forbids them for living their life?
Okay, since we already have two perspectives now, I'm going to ask one more question. Like, how did you guys get rid of toxic relationship, or did you guys have any tips on how to build a healthy relationship?
Okay, the tips I can give to you guys: don't look at the relationship from one side, grow together, correct yourself first, and this is what you need to underline and you must to remember every time. In a relationship, it's just not about quantity, but it's about quality of your relationship. That's all I can give. It's not a lot, but I hope it helps.
Okay, I'll go first. I only 3 tips for you guys. So the first is, when you meet someone, you need to know that that's the best of him or her. You'll never see the negative of that person in first or the second meet. For what I've read, you need 3 until 5 months to knowing his or her true nature. So how to say it, I'm confused. So don't give all of your heart until maybe approximately 4 months, and after that you have a choice for continuous or stop. The second, in another part, you have to learn and understand what is toxic people's characteristic features. It's important, and again, it needs time to see. Okay? The last for me, don't expect someone to change. He will change after we got married later. No, don't expect that, never, because it will not. Okay? Thank you, that's for me.
Okay, the way to avoid toxic relationships, in my opinion, is to select and approach someone more before we enter into a relationship. Or it could be said to know more what their circle of friends, family, nature, and behavior are like. Because these 3 things really affect a person's personality. Even though it is very difficult to find new people nowadays, it might be better to get to know our friends who are always there for us. And we certainly also know them much better. Looking for someone who has the same goals is the culmination of tips on avoiding toxic relationship, because with us having the same goal can build a better relationship in the future. My message is, don't look at someone from their appearance or even their physical appearance, because sincerity can only be felt, not seen.
If it's my advice, if it can be fixed slowly but surely, let go of the relationship, because what's the point of being together but toxic? Yeah.
A little tips from me for whoever you are that now trapped in a toxic relationship is you have to leave it. People sometimes get stuck in a relationship patterns that can be difficult to break out of. But if your relationship is toxic, you will become more damaged by staying in it. It can be difficult to know where to start, even when you're motivated to leave a toxic relationship. It's important to have a support system and find ways to boost your own self-esteem. Surround yourself with positivity, like spending time with people who make you feel good, treating yourself to your favorite meal, engage with your faith community, exercise, and do things that make you smile. After leaving a toxic relationship, it is very normal to miss the person, remembering only the good times and forgetting about the toxic parts. It can be tempting to want the person back in your life, but please keep in mind that you came to the decision to leave after a long, thoughtful process and for a concrete reasons. So stick with that commitment. The most important things to do is that you need to cut off contact, because keeping in contact with your ex opens the door to getting back together. Then lastly, keep on your mind that you deserve better.
Okay, I have some advice and tips to avoid toxic relationship. The first of all, we must always be honest and truthful with our partners. The second, we must believe in our partner. The third, if there is a problem, we must solve it by not using emotion and solve it properly. The fourth, find a way out together if there are a problem in relationship. And the last, the most important thing is that we must be loyal to our partner and avoid cheating, because infidelity can make a relationship toxic. Okay, that's all advice and tips from me, and thank you.
The tip I can give you before you start a relationship: first of all, you have to find chemistry between both of you, so that you can avoid from misunderstandings. The second, find the compatibility between two of you, because if it doesn't match, the relationship will be unhealthy. The third, you must open to each other, because if one part cover up the problem, it will cause problem in the relationship. And then, do not be easily satisfied if you find a better one. The last one, find a partner who can make you talk. If not, you will find someone else to talk.
Many people assume toxic relationships are doomed, but that isn't always the case. A few signs you might be able to build healthy relationship together with your partner. First, like acceptance of responsibility, willingness to invest, shift from blaming to understanding, openness to outside help, and practice healthy relationship. For example, like instead of saying you don't listen to what I'm saying, you could say I feel hurt when you take out your phone while I'm talking, because it gives me the impression that what I say doesn't matter.
How to build a healthy relationship? You should find a partner who can be your support system, the one who care with you but not over possessive, and you should actively communicate and give feedback to each other. Because relationships are hard work, ups and downs are totally normal. You should deal with it gently, compromise and tolerate each other's mistakes, and always find a win-win solution. Trust your partner and respect each other is must for a healthy relationship. I'm pretty sure you can spot that white flag in a love bombing phase or PDKT. When you spot any red flag in that phase, avoid it at all costs. It is better to stay single than being in a toxic relationship. And you should remember that healthy relationship take effort and you should deal with it.
For tips to avoid toxic relationship, actually I have several. If you feel one or more of the things I will mention are happening in your relationship, just end your relationship immediately, because these are signs of a toxic relationship. There is poor communication, excessive jealousy, dishonesty, feeling of anxiety, hopes that his or her partner will change according to his or her will, and makes his or her partner have distance between him and his or her relative and friends. So, if you feel that your relationship is experiencing the things above, just end it before things happen that you don't want.
Well, to be honest, I agree with all of that. Like, we need to be careful about our relationship and don't be greedy, because a relationship is not just only about you, it's about understanding your partner too. Okay guys, I think that's it for today's episode. I hope this episode will help you guys who's now in a toxic relationship or you guys who struggle to build a healthy relationship. Bye guys, I'm Destria.
I'm Daffa.
I'm Tete.
I am Sani.
I'm Sambut.
I am Sandia Novanti Ramadhani.
I'm Ami.
I'm Satria Putra Arjuna.
I am Rafi.
I'm Bram William.
I'm Azham.
I'm Adit.
Thank you and see you on the next episode of Commpod. Bye!